What's up, everyone? It is your girl Gel Beauty 87 here, aka Grace, and today we're into the Colourpop and the Limelight palette. So I actually got this in a decent amount of time. Colourpop usually takes forever for you to get, but I feel like this came out close to maybe 2 weeks ago and it's here already, so I'm excited about that. So let me show you what the inside looks like. This is what she looks like on the inside. I think this was $18. Or was it 16? I don't know. My total came out to exactly 30 bucks when I bought this and the Dark Vader one. So I want to say this one is 14 because the Dark Vader one I'm pretty sure was 16. And that's how I got the round lovely number of 30. But as you can see, there's a better look of what the colors look like. So I'm going to do my color comparisons at the beginning and then we will do an eye look with this one. But I know everybody's comparing it to the Tinkerbell palette, so I will show that one first, and then I'll show the Boston Celtics one, because if you all remember, for Christmas, it was my birthday or Christmas, my best friend Jackie got it for me. So here's what they look like side by side. As you can see, I feel like this is like the lighter version of the Tinkerbell palette, in my personal opinion. I feel like they have somewhat similar colors and they make good companion palettes. So I'm gonna do a palette matchup with these sometime this week, and you'll see it on my sometime next week, and you'll see it on my Instagram, because this is Friday night now, so I'm probably not gonna get to it till like Sunday, and that will be next week. So that's what both those look like. So I wanted to get that one out of the way first because I know that's the one everybody was saying it looked like. I also feel like it looks somewhat similar to the Boston Celtics one too, and then I just bought some other green palettes I already own with me. Again, see, like they're giving similar tones, the Boston Celtics and this one. Again, this just seems like it's a lighter version of this one and the Tinkerbell one. They both look somewhat similar to me, and again, I feel like they both be good companion palettes, because this is light, gives you the lighter shimmers and things, and this one gives you like the deeper, grungier tones if you're like me and need darker outer V colors. And if you want to just switch it up a little bit with some darker green shimmers and additional lights for transitioning more to the shimmers on the lid, I feel like this would be a good companion as well. And again, since I own both of them, because we know I'm a green palette connoisseur. Now, I know the Mandalorian, the child palette, has nothing to do with this, but I own both of them, so I was like, we're just going to show both of them. So this is what it looks like. Of course, to me, this looks similar to the actual Mandalorian palette, not just the child palette. I feel like the child palette would pair really well with the Mandalorian one. Now, I left the Dark Vader at home, so I don't have that one to show, but I did get it. So you'll see a future look with it on my Instagram. This is what both of them look like, but they don't have any similarities whatsoever. I just decided to show you the rest of that green palette collection since I had a green palette here. So remember, I mixed my Mented and Just by Look palettes together, so that's why my Just by Look looks the way it does. But this is what both of them look like together. They have no similarities. I notice how when they do greens now, they're pairing them more with pinks, which I'm totally fine with because I like that whole little setup. Now I'm going to do the brands that aren't Colourpop. Next I have Planet Makeup by Yolanda to go alongside this palette. I feel like this looks more closer to Just My Luck though, not this palette. But again, I have both of them here, so I'm going to show basically just the majority green palettes in my collection. And then I brought the Angelica Nicholas one to show, but I'll show that one last. The one she just did with Olden's Eye. It's supposed to come out on the, what do you call it? The 22nd of March. That's when the restock starts. They just sent me an email about it, I think a couple of days ago. Here is what is it, pistachio. I didn't bring avocado just because I didn't think about it until now, although I feel like avocado might be somewhat similar, so I might put that on my Instagram story. But I'm trying to do my Instagram stories over the weekend of all the new palettes I just got in that have palettes compared to them. And last, we're going to do Angelica's palette, like I said. So here's Angelica's palette alongside this. And as you can see, this could be a possible miniature version of Angie's palette because it just has lighter pinks than the ones that Angie picked, and it doesn't have that dark row. But I feel like it could be somewhat comparable and an alternative if, you know, you can't get your hands on Angie's palette second go round. So there are all the comparisons I have. Let me zoom you on in. I will go off camera and do an eye look. Let me know what y'all think about my foundation and what's going on with it today, because I tried a powder foundation by itself for once and just put on liquid concealer. So let me know what you think, because I'm kind of feeling it. I don't know. I'm trying to like warm myself up to it because this is my first time ever doing it. But if you come in on close, I will return with a eye look. I'm thinking we're going to use like this little section right here. But you know, we'll see what I come back with, okay? Okay, y'all, this is what I came up with. So this is what I was working with. So I only used, I think, 4 shades. No, I used 5 shades, sorry. or maybe 6. No, I use 6. Let me use this row right here. I use this shade, and I use this one, and this one up here. So let's get started on that. So I'm gonna use the Juvia's Place eyeshadow base in shade 1, which is the white shade. Because y'all know I try to make the shadows pop as much as possible, so that's why I always use a white eyeshadow base to make it pop and give color. So we'll see how it goes. Well, I mean, you see how it went. I will see how it goes on this. I will be doing it on camera because I feel like sometimes when I'm off camera, on camera doesn't look the way I hope or expect it to. So I'm going with the shade Layout, which is the darkest shade in the pan. As you see on me, it's not that dark. It kind of like is a cool tone version of my skin tone in like a little bit of a taupey way. So it didn't give me the depth I was looking for. I'll start off saying that now. But I mean, if you're on a lighter complexion, it might give you the depth you're looking for. Like, I feel like if you're a medium or lighter person, that this would be a dark enough shade for you in the outer V. For anybody, I feel like tan or darker. So basically, if your carrying hair is this color or darker, I don't think this might necessarily be a good color for you. I feel like it's not going to give a whole bunch of depth. And you know, I'm a person who likes depth on my outer V. So the fact that this isn't giving the depth that I was hoping for, I'm just kind of like, okay. Next, we're going to go into the shade After Party. That's that dark green at the bottom. And we'll start putting that on my crease. So y'all, I sent my backup camera to my cousin in Rhode Island because she has a business and she's trying to get like better pictures for her website. So what I did was I shipped it over to her today. And it's supposed to get to her Monday, I believe they told me. Because I paid for priority 2 days, so that'll be today and then it'll be Saturday. So that way it should show up Monday because obviously the post office is supposed to be working on Sunday. So I'm like, okay, we'll see if it gets there in time or not. And you know, and as you can see, we're just building up this After Party color. I really think this is a pretty color and I really like the tone of it. At first I didn't think it was going to be this light just looking at it in the pan, but I think because it's against this white base, it looks really nice, and as you can see, it's getting a nice little pop of color. I feel like if I had put an Mented Cosmetics shimmery shade on the lid, I would just be in love. But I would still want a deeper outer V shade, so I wish this shade was darker. I mean the outer V shade. These two shades are fine. I'm dipping into the shade Miami at the top now to just add a little bit more brightness to this look. I did this to the other side as well, which is why I pointed to it when I was talking about it. Yeah. So that's how we're looking. Get a clean brush to dust over all this stuff. Because I actually never did that on this side. I should probably do that. So do the same thing on this side. And now I'm going to start off with the shimmer. So I start off with that shade Palms at the bottom, the darkest one. And y'all know I like to transition from darkest to light, so that's why I started with Palms at the bottom. And I took it all the way out to the outer V pretty much. And then I covered it back up a little bit with the darker shade called Layout a little bit later. But I'm trying to get this one put on first and then we can address that. So I did about halfway in, and then we're going to do the shade Booked halfway in, which is that lighter shade. But I'm going to go back in with the darker shade Layout first and handle this in this situation to try to get a little bit more smoke to it. And try to blend it out a little bit better. So. Oh, gotta see. And then I'll take this brush again, just put a little bit more here. So yeah, that's about what I was looking for there. So we'll do that. Now, let me go ahead and put Booked. And put that toward the front. And as you can see, that shade Booked is much brighter than what I put toward the back. Even though I feel like they're kind of somewhat blended together and you don't see a huge difference in the tones, which is interesting to me because in the pan you can see like a huge difference. But I feel like on the eye or not, so you put some more of this on it and maybe you'll be able to distinguish it just a little bit better there. Let's just took the brush for books now and added it back. Now I'm gonna go ahead and dust over here, and then we can go for our inner corner shade. So the inner corner shade is called Star Power, and I'm going to take that and just, well, welcome in the inner corner. Now I didn't put any thing in the waterline. I need to put a black pencil in it, so because I still got one more eye look to do, and even though I'm using purples, I feel like a black eye pencil just go with everything. So I'm gonna go grab that, do that, and then we will come back and talk about my thoughts on this palette. So then back you on up, because now you're just a little bit too close, girl, and I need personal space. Okay? Okay, so my thoughts on this palette. I think it's a nice palette. I just think it doesn't have enough depth for someone with my skin tone. As you can see, my outer V hardly has any depth. So to me, this is going to be more of a companion palette. Or maybe I'll just do what I always do with Colourpop palettes, which is switch out a shade in here for a shade that works better for my skin tone. Because that's why I do with these big palettes. If y'all have, I mean, that's what I do with Colourpop palettes in general. If you haven't noticed, a lot of times they don't have the depth I'm looking for. So what I'll do is I'll switch out shades accordingly. So like I'm gonna have to switch this out with something else, because to me this is more of a shade to airbrush over when I do a dark look and I need a deeper green shade, or I need a deeper shade to go with this, like the one in the Angelica Niquez palette. Now that one is deep enough for someone my skin tone to be able to work with, like this one at the top. I know they look similar, but if I remember correctly, Angie's is darker, but let's swatch and see. And even if it isn't, she has this darker plum shade to work with. Well, hers is, yeah, hers is still looking darker from what I'm seeing. Do they have glitter in it, or did I just accidentally get some glitter when I did? Anyway, let me show you. See what I'm saying? Like this is more of a darker green shade, and you see how Angie's is darker because I swatched Angie's first. So Angie's is a little bit darker, and I feel like if you build hers up, it would give me more depth that I'm looking for in the outer view that I'm not getting from this one. So I feel like Angie's palette is similar to this one, and I feel like Angie's palette did a better job than this one. But the formula in this is just fine. Like this isn't the formula that's in the Amethyst and the Up Quartz palette. This is their normal standard Colourpop formula. Like this is more of the formula you would see in like the Tinkerbell palette. It's not as good as the Limoncello, but I feel like it's just as good as the Tinkerbell palette. I really like that one. So I'm gonna stick to using this as a companion palette. If you're my skin tone, I would suggest you try to use this alone, because girl, you're not gonna get enough depth if you're somebody like me who likes depth. Now if you're fine with just a simple monochromatic moment, and you can put this bright green on your outer V, and then put the lighter green in your crease and put a green on the lid, or just use this shade in your inner corner, dust this all over the lid. This is more of a one shade type palette for me if you want a pop of color, or it has to be a companion palette, because it's not doing it on its own in my personal opinion. But that's just me. So those are my thoughts on it. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Remember, you all are diamonds. Let me know what you think about this look, because I like the look okay. I just wish I had more depth in my outer V. That's really what's killing the vibe and the look for me. But like I said, when I was putting on the eye look, if you're fair to like medium, I feel like it'll be fine for you, because this shade would definitely be deep enough for you. It's just not deep enough for me. You know, that's okay, because I have plenty of green palettes to choose from, including more green palettes from Colourpop. So the next time you see me using this palette, it'll probably be most likely with the Tinkerbell, because see, I can use this shade and then use that other shade to dust over. Or I can use the Boston Celtics one my friend bought me, and again, it has enough deeper shades in here for someone like me. So I feel like they did a good rounding out of greens, so you have a variety. Like you can have these brighter ones for someone who's fair to medium. Then you have these two for people that are medium or tan to deep like myself, so that way everybody can have a somewhat similar color story and still work better for their skin tone and their preferences. So they did a good job in that regard, but it's like, who wants to have to buy 3 different palettes? I'm the crazy person who buys all the green palettes along with my girl Karen Harris here on YouTube, but you know, everybody don't want to do that. So they don't make the Tinkerbell one anymore. I'm not sure about the Boston Celtics, but if you're my skin tone, I would say get the Boston Celtics, and then maybe get a bright green Super Shock Shadow for like $4 or $5, and then you can do somewhat of similar same look. Those are my thoughts. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Remember, you all are diamonds. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Be blessed, girl. Bye.